much this week. Can I chase after my God? Can I chase after my God? Can we praise him for just 30 seconds in this house? Oh, I'm working out. This is a praise party. Can we praise him for just 30 seconds in this house? Somebody shout it! Is it alright if we lift him up? Is it alright if we praise him? Is it alright if we lift up his name? Is it alright if we magnify him? Turn it up in this house. Jesus is in the house. Somebody ought to holler. You never know when he'll come back. So because he's here right now, let's shout yeah! So let's it right now. Don't wait for nothing to break. Let's get ready right now. Start it yourself. Let's get ready to praise him in this house. It's alright. Come on, listen. It's alright to praise him in this house. Yes, there's so much stuff going on this month, this year, this week, this minute, this second. Let's praise him while we still got it. I gotta praise him. I gotta get up. There's something on the inside. I gotta get up. I gotta praise. I gotta praise. I gotta get up. I gotta praise. And it reads, if we are thrown into this blazing furnace, the God we serve is able to deliver us from it, and he will deliver us from your majesty's hand. But even if he does not, we want you to know, your majesty, that we will not serve your gods or worship the image of gold you have set up. Then Nebuchadnezzar was furious with Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and his attitude toward them changed. He ordered the furnace heated up 7 times hotter than usual, and commanded some of his strongest soldiers in his army to tie up Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego and throw them into the blazing furnace. So these men, wearing their robe, trousers, turbans, and other clothes, bound them and threw them into the furnace. The king's command was ordered that the flames of the fire killed the soldiers who took Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. And these 3 men, firmly tied, fell into the blazing furnace. Then King Nebuchadnezzar leaped to his feet in amazement and asked his advisors, wasn't there 3 men that were tied up and thrown into the fire? They replied, certainly, your majesty. He took a look. I see 4 men walking around in the fire, unbound, unharmed, and the 4th looks like a son of God. Nebuchadnezzar then approached the opening of the blazing furnace and shouted, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, servants of the Most High God, come out. So Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego came out of the fire, and the satraps, prefects, governors, and royal advisors crowded them around them. They saw that the fire had not harmed their bodies, nor was a hair on their head singed. Their robes were not scorched, and their hair was no smell of fire on them. From this scripture, the topic for today is, do you still believe? My older sister Joanne was coming home from college one day, and this time she brought a friend with her, and her friend was atheist, and her friend was trying to convince and persuade Joanne and I to basically go in the atheist way. Joanne, being smart and deeply rooted into the Bible, was able to quote some scripture and said, "This is what I believe. Do you believe it?" And from that, I got, do you still believe? My brothers and my sisters, we are often questioned and tested about what we believe. In school, we are taught to forget about everything we know about our religion, because some schools teach a theory that seems to contradict what we believe as Christians. The Big Bang Theory, for example, says that the world was created by two rocks crashing into each other, creating the earth that we now live on. Charles Darwin, a late and accomplished scientist, introduced the theory of evolution, which states that humans evolved from apes. These theories may cause us to question the belief that God is the creator of heaven and earth. Just recently, we witnessed a tragedy here in the United States where two young men took the lives of some and hurt others. And in a time of crisis and frustration, in a time of chaos, do you still believe in God? Do you still believe when we have bombings at marathons and shootings inside of public schools? Do you still believe? The Bible pictures King Nebuchadnezzar as an egomaniac. He was obsessed with power. In this story, we find King Nebuchadnezzar making a foolish decree. He said that if his subjects don't bow down and worship the golden image he had set, they would be thrown into a fiery furnace. Some of us, as soon as danger comes, we forget what we believe and what we were taught.
Well,
we foolishly bow down and worship idols we know we shouldn't. Don't even put up a fight. We just surrender to what comes along. Idols like cars, money, and the American dream that we see people trying to chase on TV. When danger comes, we try to fit in with the crowd. But I have a question, it's, do you still believe in God when danger comes? The second thing we must realize is, despite your situation, God is able. Shadrach and Meshach and Abednego were Hebrew servants of the king, taken into his court. And they served him very diligently. They replied to the king, "We don't need to defend ourselves, because the God we serve is able to deliver us from your hand. But even if he doesn't do it, if he doesn't deliver us, if he doesn't bring us out, even if he doesn't do it, we still will not worship the golden image or the God you have set before us." Some of us need to be reminded that God is able. In spite of your sickness, he's able. In spite of death, he's able. In the midst of depression and fear, he's able. Songwriter says God is able to do just what he says he will do. He's going to fulfill every promise that he made to you. Don't give up on God, because he won't give up on you. And the last line says, he's able. Do you still believe? I don't really get caught up in the stuff that people say, because I understand that some things that you are going through could be worse. Because these three steadfast men survived the flames, that means that God left himself a little bit of room to step in and change the story and still get the glory out of this situation. Young people, don't lose your mind or miss out on life, because God always leaves himself some space to provide himself a way to get back into your situation, to get back into your story, to get back into your life and change it all around. That's why I believe these three men said God is able. They knew that their God could deliver them out of this situation. Come on, somebody. Do you still believe God is able? The God that delivered Daniel out of the lion's den. Yes, he's able. The God that gave Samson back his strength. Yes, he's able. The God that blessed Job and gave him double for his trouble. Yes, he's able. The God that was with Joseph and Potiphar's house. Yes, he's able. The God that instructed Noah to build the ark when he was going to send rain for 40 days and 40 nights. Yes, he's able. But do you still believe? Do you believe in chaos? Do you still believe in time of trouble? One of my favorite people in the Bible, and I'm almost through. One of my favorite people in the Bible is David. He is the one that wrote most of the Psalms. He states that it was good that I was afflicted.